Have you ever sat in the dead of night, only to realize that silence can scream louder than any chaos? Have you felt that strange ache, not from weakness, but from being strong for far too long? And then, one evening, out of nowhere, it hits you, not in a poetic way, but in a gut punch of reality. You're no longer young, and you'll never be that old version of yourself again. Your knees creak when you stand. Your energy doesn't bounce back like before. The mirror reflects someone who has survived countless storms but never paused to celebrate the survival. You gave too much to those who only knew how to take. You silenced your instincts just to keep others comfortable. And now, that false comfort is cracking like glass slipping through your hands. But you're not broken. You're dangerous. Because now, you know, Marcus Aurelius once whispered through time, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think. When you're young, it sounds like philosophy. At 40 or 50, it punches like truth, because death is no longer abstract. It shows up in slow steps, back pain, routine doctor visits, and the eerie silence of rooms that once overflowed with laughter. You begin to hear the countdown. You feel your expiration date hovering, and it terrifies you but also sets you free. This isn't some feel-good, gentle self-help video. This is a wake-up call. This is a line in the sand. This is me dragging your soul out of the fog you've been living in. You're tired, yes, but not finished. You're late to the game, but still in it. And now it's time to play like your life depends on it, because it does. To the warrior who forgot how to swing. To the woman who held it all together while quietly falling apart. To the man who gave too much. To the soul that went numb from routine. To you, the one who stayed silent while your dreams drowned in the noise of what didn't matter. That silence ends now. From this moment on, protect what's left like a lion guards its last cub. Guard your time like gold. Guard your peace like it's your breath. Guard your power because no one's handing it back. You'll have to rip it back from the jaws of whatever stole it. What I'm about to give you is not soft advice. These are not rules, these are weapons, forged in fire, loss, betrayal, and wisdom. 7 of them, each carved from the bones of real pain, each one crafted to make the second half of your life hit harder than the first ever did. Let this video pierce through your numbness. Let it destroy your excuses. Don't skip. Don't look away. If you do, you may never wake up again. Like, comment, subscribe. Send this to the strongest person you know who simply forgot how to fight. And when the fire inside your chest begins to burn again, I want you to type this in the comments. I will protect my peace, my purpose, and my future. Now sit still, breathe deep, we begin. Number 1, learn to outgrow people without needing to announce it. And as you begin to walk, not in anger, but in a cold, conscious awakening, let your footsteps echo like thunder. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike your enemy." He meant that you don't need to mirror their bitterness. You don't need a dramatic confrontation, a final speech, or a loud goodbye. The Stoic path is colder, quieter, and infinitely more powerful. Just walk. Just evolve. Just move forward. Leave the door unlocked, but never turn back. Stoicism doesn't teach you to master others. It teaches you to master yourself. And part of that mastery is this. You owe your old life no explanation for why you stopped shrinking to fit into it. There is nothing noble about dragging along rotted relationships out of guilt. That isn't love, it's emotional self-harm, and a Stoic knows the only thing worth preserving is inner peace. If someone costs you that, they've already cost too much. You're not cruel for choosing silence. You're not arrogant for protecting your soul. You're not cold for refusing to bleed for people who flinch at your light. Marcus Aurelius wasn't built by applause, but by relentless discipline. He didn't need a crowd to walk alone. And neither do you. Yes, the silence may sting, but that sting is the price of growth. You'll mourn who they once were, but you won't miss the version of you that had to shrink to keep them. Walk away like a warrior, leaving a battlefield he already conquered. No rage, no fire, just stillness, because you have legacies to write. Don't waste ink explaining why the past didn't make the next chapter. Number 2, stop apologizing for protecting your boundaries. You used to burn yourself to keep others warm. Say yes when your soul screamed no. Smile while your spirit collapsed. You bent, broke, and twisted just to be accepted, to avoid confrontation, to be the nice one. You thought being liked was survival. You thought being needed meant you mattered. But all it did was leave you empty. You gave away your time like it was worthless. You stayed silent when you should have drawn swords. You slowly abandoned yourself until one day you no longer recognized your reflection. And for what? To keep the peace? That wasn't peace. That was emotional slavery wearing the mask of kindness. Marcus said, "If someone proves me wrong, I will gladly change, for I seek the truth, and the truth never harmed anyone." But truth without self-respect is meaningless. And the truth is this: you were not born to be anyone's emotional landfill. You were not put here to be liked. You were born to live boldly, unapologetically, with fire in your bones and a line no one is allowed to cross. Let them call you selfish. Let them say you've changed. That's what people say when they can no longer feast on your silence. They're not mad at your boundary, they're mad at your awakening, because now you're dangerous. You see who only came around when your yes was easy. You see who flinches now that you choose yourself. And here's where Stoicism becomes armor. You don't need to explain your standards to those who never respected them. You don't need to justify your limits to those who benefited from your lack of them. You owe no one an apology for protecting your soul. But you owe yourself the version of you that no longer trembles when it's time to say no. And if setting a boundary costs you a relationship, let it burn. Because what's real, what's pure, is never destroyed by self-respect. It's strengthened by it. Let your no echo like thunder. Let it shake the fake love from your life. You've spent too many years being digestible. Now it's time to be undeniable. Your future is sacred ground. Guard it like your life depends on it, because it does. And now we move on to number 3. You've learned to say no, you've drawn your lines. Now it's time to defend the only true home you'll ever have, your body. You outran the warnings, slept through the sirens, laughed off the aches, the stiffness, the gasps, like your body was a machine that could never rust. You fed it junk, starved it of rest, buried it under excuses and screen time. And for years, it remained silent, loyal, forgiving, quiet. But that silence, it's over. Because after 40, your body doesn't whisper anymore. It screams, your knees snap back in protest, your heart pounds like a ticking clock. And your eyes, they carry the exhaustion of thousands of days spent putting everyone else first. This is no longer a warning. It's the bill, and it's due. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You must build your life action by action, not with words, not with intentions, but with movement, with sweat, with discipline. Your body is the foundation, the temple, the vessel, and you've trashed it like a hotel room. Forgetting this isn't some temporary stop. This is your final address. There's no trade-in, no spare. So start treating it like sacred ground, because it holds every unwritten chapter of your life. That shoulder pain, that gut fatigue, that short breath climbing stairs, that's not just discomfort. It's your future begging you to wake up. This is no longer about abs or aesthetics. This is about survival. It's about the clarity in your mind when your body is clean, the power in your voice when your lungs are strong, the fire in your soul when your spine is aligned and your blood flows like thunder. You don't need a gym. You need grit. One push-up on a cold floor. One stretch that cracks the pain loose. One small decision. Water instead of poison. Do it again tomorrow. And again. And again, because this body is carrying your legacy, your children, your destiny. And it can't keep dragging around your negligence like dead weight. You wouldn't sleep peacefully in a house on fire. So why live in a body that's falling apart while you pretend not to see? Reclaim it. Train like your breath depends on it, because it does. Move like your purpose is on the line, because it is. Eat like your heart is listening, because it's begging you to. This isn't self-care. This is a war cry, a battle for your future. And your body, it's the battlefield. Number 4, stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Once you've chosen to defend your body, the next lesson is learning to stand in your truth, without applause, without permission, and without needing anyone's approval. If they can't see the real you, let them speak to the ghost of who they wish you were. You're not here for validation. Your life is not a debate. It's a damn declaration. So stop fighting to be understood by those who never will. Let them shout into the void. Let them spin their confusion. You know who you are, and that's all that matters. Number 5, make solitude your superpower, not your punishment. There was a time when being alone sent your soul into a tailspin. Empty rooms felt suffocating. Silent weekends turned your mind into a battlefield filled with doubts and fears. You clung to anything, noise, people, distractions, just to avoid the silence, just to avoid the storm inside. But then, something changed. Pain, time, truth. And you realized the real danger wasn't loneliness, it was the absence of yourself. Solitude is not your enemy, it is your weapon. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." You spent years surrounded by other people, their opinions, their judgments, their noise, until your own voice was drowned out. You thought you needed their approval, their validation. But here's the truth, when you can't hear yourself, you're lost. And it's only when you sit alone, in the dark, in the silence, that your soul begins to roar. That's when you face the things you buried deep, your desires, your pain, your unspoken truth. That's when you remember who you really are, when you stop hiding behind masks built for others and stand fully in the rawness of your truth. Solitude doesn't punish you, it sharpens you, it refines you like steel against stone. It strips away the noise and reveals who you are and who you could still become. It teaches you to be at peace in your own skin, to stop needing others to define you, to stop chasing validation, to stop depending on the world to measure your worth. Power doesn't come from being surrounded, it comes from standing alone. After 40, you stop chasing popularity, you start chasing power. And that power grows in the quiet places where no one is watching, no one is clapping, just you. Raw, real, unshakable, so read that book alone. Take that walk without your phone. Disconnect from the world so you can reconnect with yourself. Don't fear the silence. That's where the soul is rebuilt. That's where you become unbreakable, because the one who stands in stillness in the storm is the one no one can tear apart. And now it's time to release the old version of you that no longer belongs in this chapter. After letting go of your outdated self, you begin to see it clearly. Some things that once gave you warmth are now suffocating your soul. The friendships that once made you feel like you belonged now leave you hollow. The lifestyle that once numbed the pain, now it's choking the life out of you. It's time to let it all go. You owe no one your old identity. You are not obligated to remain the same just because it makes others comfortable. Change is chaos, messy, raw, like tearing off old skin to reveal what's been hiding underneath. But pretending to be who you no longer are, that's a death sentence. Some people won't handle the new you. They'll cling to their version of you, to the memories. Let them say you've changed, because you have. That's the point. You're not here to fit in. You're here to build, to forge something real. So real that pretending becomes betrayal. No more surviving, no more being who they want. You're here to become someone so different that even you don't fully recognize yourself yet. And those who can't keep up, they'll be left behind. Number 7, stop begging for time from people who treat you like an option. If you're chasing their attention, you've already lost. You send the first text, you make the plans. You twist your life into knots just to grab a sliver of their time, and what do you get back? Cold responses, empty excuses, silence masked as busyness. Marcus Aurelius warned, "It's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." And as you grow older, you realize you've wasted years on people who never saw your worth, who treated you like background noise, who made you feel small, invisible. But here's the truth, you are not hard to love. They're just not capable of loving as deeply as you do. You are not an afterthought. You are not a maybe. You are not their seasonal convenience. You're a priority. And if they can't see that, they don't deserve your time. The real ones don't make you beg. They don't hide you. They make time because they know your time is a luxury. So stop chasing, stop begging, because when you stop chasing, something inside you changes. You stop accepting crumbs, and you begin to attract the entire damn feast. You don't beg for time anymore. You choose who gets your energy. Because here's the harsh reality. If someone is always too busy, their actions are louder than their words. Believe them. Excuses are just another way of saying, you don't matter enough. But you don't need that. You don't need to beg. You don't need to fight. You don't need to chase love that doesn't come running back. You stop settling. You stop being a backup plan. You start living like the priority you were always meant to be. You want respect? You want real love? Then make yourself unavailable to those who won't give it. And the moment you stop begging for time, you'll realize something powerful. You are time. You're what they should be chasing. You're the rare, sacred thing they never valued. You're not too old. You're just getting clearer. Clearer about who you are. Clearer about what matters. Clearer about the boundaries you finally started enforcing. This isn't about age. It's about wisdom. And wisdom hits harder with every scar you've earned. These 7 truths, they're not just words, they're weapons, forged in battle, written in sweat, pain, and sacrifice. They are your battle cry for the life you're building. The next chapter? It's not about being perfect. It's about being real, unapologetic, raw. The kind of truth that shakes the world. So if this spoke to you, share it. Let someone else feel this fire. And if you're ready, subscribe. Because we're not just here to grow, we're here to dominate.